Hi everybody, we are here in Nairobi for Air Cargo Africa 2025. Right now I'm joined by Vivian Lau. She is the chair and group CEO of Pacific Air Holdings, a GSSA company and with an expertise in the e-commerce integrated solutions. Vivian, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Vivian, give us an idea about your leadership position here in Pacific Air. How your career been, and how you ended up here in this particular company.
Well, it's really interesting. I started my career in Qantas Freight in Sydney, Australia. However, unlike many of our industry leaders who have been, it's like their lifelong passion, I had the opportunity to be engaged in a whole host of other industries as well, including telecommunication, interactive, petrochemical, education, nonprofit. But I've come full circle back into the aviation and logistic industry in 2019, just before COVID. So isn't that like a very interesting time to come back to this industry?
Okay, that's interesting. Give us an idea about Pacific Air Holdings. The company has diversified its services into GSSA management, and e-commerce logistics is something that you have expertise in. Could you elaborate a bit on the strategic decisions that you took and the reasons behind it?
Well, we have always been very focused on building a strategy, a portfolio strategy that provides, in a way, diversification both from a solution perspective and also a geographic perspective. And as a GSSA, starting out as a very strong GSSA player in Hong Kong, we are in a very privileged position to really understand the heart of action, the heart of where, flow of trade, flow of goods is. And in a way, that gives us a very unique vintage point into the fast development of e-commerce. And therefore, we are in no better position than this to develop e-commerce solutions for the industry.
Other than Hong Kong, one more place where you are present is Vietnam. How has the company's expansion into Vietnam enhanced your capabilities in particularly the cross-border e-commerce trade, especially when there is many disruptions happening? Also, there are different global trade dynamics.
Well, as we have just shared, it has always been our focus and our intention to build a very complementary integration portfolio from a geographic and also from a solution perspective. Now, looking at the world from where we are, Vietnam, in fact, has been one of the earliest beneficiary of the geopolitical trade situation. So we were just very fortunate that we have picked the right market to expand at the right time.
Okay. That's an interesting thing to hear from you. Building on that expertise in e-commerce, e-commerce sector has been experiencing rapid growth in the recent past. How is Pacific Air Holdings trying to leverage that particular market trend? Tell us about what is happening in the market and how your company is adapting to it.
Now, we have been following very closely to all the geopolitical trade situation around the world. And at the same time, we want to make sure that we can be where our customers would like to be. So we need to, in a way, at least be at the same pace. But if not, it will be really good if we are slightly ahead of our customer so that we are there when they need us. So the geopolitical situation, the China Plus One strategy, where we saw very early on a lot of the Chinese manufacturers and also a lot of Korean and other manufacturers are divesting into other parts of Asia Pacific as part of initially buying insurance. But then it became a very focused part of their investment. We just thought hey, this China plus one strategy, let's stay close, let's put our focus where they are, and let's make sure that we get ready for the solutions when they need us there.
Okay, that's again interesting. But in the global trade, there are many disruptions and there are evolutions happening. Um, how are you navigating some of these challenges like the geopolitical tensions or even the economic uncertainties?
Well, I wished, I guess I'm not the only person who wished that we have a crystal ball. We are definitely living in a very VUCA world. And, not to mention that we've just come out from the COVID pandemic, and we are in the midst of some very unbelievable, unpredictable geopolitical situations. So yes, we'll always say, let's stay agile, let's stay, very flexible, let's stay abreast. But I think more importantly, to navigate these challenges require us to stay very grounded and very humble and curious as to how can we develop solutions that will truly solve the challenges and navigate the challenges ahead of us. And I think it's important to work together with like-minded leaders as partners, because one company or one individual might not be able to solve all the challenges. But if we do work together with our partners, I believe we will be always able to prevail and prosper.
Can you give us an idea about the technological innovations that you are getting into? Particularly, you are looking at making it more efficient and the customer satisfaction. In both those places, it's very important to have adopting some of the recent technologies. What are you doing at your company?
Well, at our company, it's really a movement to embrace technological innovations. And sometimes maybe we shouldn't call them technology per se. We should see them as enablers to help us to be better at our work and to help us to make better decisions. And some of those projects that we are working on could well be like online solutions, could well be in-house development, and of course now everybody is scratching the surface of how to make AI work for us so that we can develop solutions that truly will benefit humankind. But I think at the end of the day, for sure, one thing is for sure, it's a work in progress journey. One that requires a lot of curiosity and also one that requires imagination as well.
Okay, talking about the customer satisfaction, give us an idea about the client portfolio that you have and maybe the kind of business that you are doing from Hong Kong and Vietnam.
It's no surprise that most of our e-commerce customers will always be asking us for solutions that are cheaper, faster, better, right? And this is like the holy grail. And throughout the process is really looking into how we can compress the journey in a way that is more efficient, effective, but most importantly, more predictable. Because predictability provides the stability and the assurance that is required by the e-commerce consumers at the end of the day. And that's where ultimate satisfaction is.
Okay, what is your plan for Pacific Air for next 5 years? Where you are trying to take the company to from the current position?
Well, as we look ahead, apart from really navigating all the challenges that you've mentioned already, I think we really want to be reminded of the reason why we're doing what we are doing. In Chinese terms, the word logistics actually means bring order to chaos. And we're not short of chaos right now. So I believe for us in the next 5 years, it's going to be a very humble journey to continue to find form, to find order into the chaos in a way that stays true to not just the E as in the electronic commerce, but the E might stand for many more things than efficient, effective. Hopefully the E actually stands for ecological, And the E also stands for equity, because bringing order to chaos, bringing equity to commerce, bringing prosperity opportunities to people around the world. That's our focus for the next 5 years.
Okay, thanks for that. I have one follow-up question. Since you are more into the e-commerce market and the movements, give us an idea about what are the commodities that mostly that you handle. Also, in terms of the evolution in the recent past, what are the is that including some difficult products to handle? Give us an idea about that.
That's like a really interesting question, because it's like we used to think about perishables, right? In the cargo industry, perishables would be what? Would be your flowers, right? We have a lot of the Kenyan flowers, Ethiopian roses here. Perishable would be your food, right? Now perishable is what? It's the t-shirt that you must have within 48 hours or 24 hours. Perishable becomes the electronic item that you must have, because this is like the latest things. So I think in terms of the commodities that we are handling, we have seen a really landmark shift from items that we have never thought to be in the category of perishable and fresh. Now we're talking about perishable fashion. We're talking about fresh fashion. So that is the shift. That is the change that we are working with.
Vivian, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.